Alright, hello. How's it going there, Alistair? Back in the career game. How's everybody doing? Alright, so left this running for a little bit. We've got some good jet and diesel in the tanks, and we'll go ahead and let's see what the wind's at. The wind is nuts. No, it's not bad. 35%. We can leave that. A little bit foggy. Shut override off. Let me just quickly check all of these stuff here. Alright, that is good. Alright, good. So let's go ahead and we will. So again, I made a new save. So probably end up making a new save in probably a week or so when I get all the ADFs done. But let's go ahead over to FJ. Let's get Tethys out and moving, I think. We'll send Tethys on the way to, I think what we might do, let me see, do I have a cable? I should be able to run it. So we've got a couple missions here. This one's about 30 grand. It is transport a blue speedboat in the ocean to Engineers Bay Dock, which is up here. So a little bit of a trip, but the benefit is we can leave Tethys running. I just want to verify I have a keep active block. I'm pretty certain I do on Tethys, but we'll send Tethys down, and then we can grab the orange helicopter. We can go do another mission. Stop. I need to get a multi-point nav going at some point. I need to work on the Lua for that. Stop. Keep clicking on stuff and it's trying to fast travel me. All right, let's go ahead and yeah, we'll get that launched. Yeah, I need the multi-point waypoint. That will help. But I want to do a little bit of a Lua screen on that. All right. Let me bring up my list for Tethys. I think we're pretty much caught up on little things for Tethys, but yeah, one of the best ways to figure out what your builds need is to go put it in a career game. Take good notes. So AP nav fuel panel, harbor gen. We can go without that for now. Breaker room, harbor gens. Power for tool chest. I think I did that. Let me check that real quick. Click on the right thing. Alright, powerful tool chest in here. Let's check it. No, this did not get electrified. So let's see. Where's the hot bus is there? Let's hot bus that. Alright, Goob. That's all set to go there. Save that. Alright, we'll spawn Tethys. We'll get Tethys going and on our way. Yeah, I should drag all those solid propellants to 0. I'll put that on my to-do list. That way, it just doesn't try to load them with solid propellant. All right. Good door management so that the ship doesn't sink. Yes, ships can sink. There's a paint block there on the stairs. Needs to be done. All right, that's starting up. Let's put some stuff on the list here. Should probably make a paint category here. Paint. Alright, so let's do stairs to bridge. Alright, that's one that needed to be done. Go to bridge. Add paint for clutch switches. Alright, there we go. Alright, there's a couple things going. Let's get on that. Alright, so I'll head us out and then I'll just make a mark. I think the best way to do this. Let's say screw this off until I get a multi-point way nav. What we'll do is we'll head across and we'll head over to the island here. I want to work this area here. We'll make sure no clip is shut. I'll need it for a second, but we'll make sure no clip's shut off in a little bit. Now let's get going here. I think that will be better. Let's check volume. Let's do something to dampen this boiler pressure. Wiggly wiggly. Dampen the boiler pressure, wiggly wiggly. Alright, let's go to there. Alright, and let's go to nav lights. There we go. Alrighty. So we are on the way. Let's see. Got a bunch of stuff we need to do on this, but garage. Okay, good. So put out another video for feature request. It's for the ability to paint all the sides of the bottom of pivots. So go ahead and watch and like that video, comment on that. That helps get that some views so that the devs see that's important. And then also in the description is a link to the bug tracker feature request for that. So if you go and star that, that is the best way for the devs to see it, is the feature request. They've asked multiple times that that's where these things go, and then by starring that, it gives it more visibility so the devs know what people are looking for. So check the music's a little bit low, I think. Not too much else going on, I think. Just get back in with this being a new, you know, a newish save. You know, I had to redo the save for the latest update, which isn't a big deal. You know, the longest I can get it done within 20 minutes, and that's while playing. You know, the first 10 minutes I can get the world set up. As soon as I get in, start drilling, go buy all the bases and everything. You know, edit the XMLs real quick. So it usually takes me about 10 minutes to get most of the stuff done. The oil drilling takes a little bit longer, but you can do it while you're doing the other stuff. So total is like 20 minutes. Coming up here, let's see, we'll be there in about 4 minutes. I want to get under the bridge before I try to spawn, you know, the helicopter and get the helicopter going here. It is foggy, but we do have navigation systems, so that helps us to get in and out of places. Wind's up, but it's not too bad. It's like 35%. So I'm going to go ahead. We're a couple minutes out. We'll look for the bridge. Bridge is going to kind of sneak up on us here as it is foggy, foggy, foggy. So probably not going to do this one. It's reasonable money, but it wouldn't be bad if we had a multi-point autopilot, which I need to get in there. We could send it out, and then when it arrives, I could go meet it with the helicopter, hook it up, send it on its way, and then go do something else. That's what I often did with Triton. Was you could send it off to go do container missions, you could go do rescues while it's operating. This is kind of the whole idea of having a home ship here. So, alright, let's see. We are currently about 2 minutes out. Let's go ahead and we will fold the mast. That way we're ready. I not have... What is up with my... Why can't I go into third person here? Let's check. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. There we go. Third person vehicle. That would be why. Okay. So mast is folded. Ready to go under the bridge. Sethy's pretty fast, doing 36 knots. Still do not see the bridge. Bridge has got to be up there somewhere. Gives us a good view over the helipad when the antenna is tilted. I gotta fix this front camera on there. If you look right here, you can see there's a light right there. So at night, it just blasts the camera with light. So I'm gonna move that camera. Kind of tough to see anything when it's too bright. Still not at the bridge yet here. I'm kind of... Let's go ahead. I'm going to shut the GPS off and just manually watch when we get to the bridge here. It is foggy. Now once we get onto the bridge, we'll go ahead and rejoin the GPS. So we'll probably go to there when we rejoin. Alright. AP Master's off. It's be about 18 minutes after the bridge. There's the bridge coming up. Alright, good. I'll pick a span that we want to go under. And the waves are trying to push us right there, so we'll drop off that starboard propeller to help us. Hopefully this water doesn't raise us up too high to hit the bridge. That's what I'm hoping. The clearance is not all that forgiving here. It's better than it looks. It looks tight until you kind of go in a flat plane. Alright, there we go. That's good. GPS is back on, and we'll power both up again. Very nice. Alright, good. So that's off on its own now. That will be there in 16 minutes. We will just teleport as we change characters, and we'll go grab the helicopter and go do a mission. That should auto-stop once it gets to its destinazione. Let's see. Override weather is off. Okay, I just want to make sure that's off so that when we eventually the weather will change. It's not static. Orange Helo is good to go. Let's hopefully everything's up to snuff on this. And we'll get going. It is windy. I'm just gonna screw off some of this wind. That's getting nuts now. Go there. That fog was getting nuts. Let's keep it a little bit where you guys can actually see something. Sometimes it gets ridiculous. It is stormworks after all. I understand that, but it's can be ridiculous works if it's too much. You know, at some point, you know, even the Coast Guard and everything else, the weather's going to get too bad. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to put everybody's lives at risk for, you know, doing a small rescue. It ends up being very counterproductive, so. How's it going there, Sergeant? How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Hopefully YouTube figures out what the hell they're doing with this music stuff soon enough. So, kind of an obnoxious process. I have my stream music here, which I'm authorized by the person who made it to use in streams, as long as I put them in the credits, which I do on the description of the video, and then YouTube flags it as copyright music, and then I have to fill out the form for the person who made the music, and then the next day they clear it. It's just a process for everybody. It'd be nice if Google would just fix it. Google owns YouTube, is my understanding, but alright, let's go ahead and let's go do this rescue up here. What's the time on this? 32 minutes, so we probably can do that. Time. Why am I losing so much in the way of engine power? It's coming back. Okay, good. It is coming back. All right. I decide if I should put a headset on the seat or not. I think it's alright the way it is, frankly. Guys, let me know if the game volume is too low or too high. I'm just changing it. Sometimes it's a little bit different. I'm kind of looking at my audio compared to that. My audio should be louder. But let me know if anything gets too loud. Certain games I have to turn down, other games I have to turn up, depending on the games. I think I'll change this again to 500. Orange Helly, where are you there? Orange Hello. Alright, there we go. That's back on the list of things to do to get rid of that yellow light for no reason. It's just flashing because it's... I've got it set for when it tells me it's low RPS, but it's not. Alright, volume's good, thank you. Alright, so we'll be there in about 5 minutes. Tethies. I could home in on Tethies. But we just passed the bridge. Right there is where Tethies went, just north of this island. So we'll probably see Tethies on the way by. We got the mast light on, so we might see the mast light as they go over. We may not. It's pretty soupy here. 4.8 out from Draymore. Look at that nice cool temperature on this engine here. Remember, modular is impossible to cool. Let's see, logo. I don't have a logo light yet. And do something with these at some point. Still don't have a defib on this helicopter. Let's put that on the to-do list. Alright, defib. What else do I have back here for supplies? Fire extinguisher, torch, a little bit of med kit. So I should always shut that parking brake off. Right, and then I have nothing there. That'd be interesting what I should put there. Alright, 3.5 minutes out. No way I'm going to see Tethies, so... Alright, we're only at 1,000 feet. You know, it sounds high, but, you know, put it in perspective, some of the mountains are taller than that on the main island, so... That is normal pattern altitude for a small airplane. Normal pattern altitude for jets, 2,000 feet usually. Above ground level. AGL, not MSL. Alright, let's see. 2.5 minutes out. Let's go down. We'll descend. Oh, 500. Try not to be too dicey with this. Because we do, like, if we look at our approach here, we're coming in from pretty much almost a straight line from here. So we're going to be coming in over Draymore. There is some stuff here we're going to be careful of. We're going directly to the point. So likely we're going to come over here. So 500 we should clear, but over here is pretty tall, so we gotta be careful of that. Alright, 2 minutes out. Orange helicopter's got a good speed now, doing 150 knots. I gotta fix that. I'll to-do list index the airspeed indicator. Index air speed to, let's say, 155. Okay. For VNE, 1.6 minutes out. This is what it's like flying an IMC IRL. Can't see anything. Kind of hang out. All your instruments. That's funny there, CG. Alright, about a minute out. Alright, so we're going to start slowing down. Just saw a little bit of spit of land go under us there. Alright, slow it down to about 50-something knots. There we go, starting to see some land there, and here's Dremore right there. That's the, looks like the approach end to Dremore. Do I have my binoculars? I do. There's the approach end to Dremore. Let's descend again. Go down to 300 feet. All right, we can see now what's going on. They're coming up for the rescues. 12 o'clock, Lou. Alright, now Viz is up a little bit, so that's a little bit helpful. More. Worked on the ADF a little bit yesterday. I'd like to put the ADFs back in. I think that's going to work well to do the little bit of XML support posts that way. There's no blocks with collisions meshing through the ground. You know, the devs do it. You can see it with the pumps and everything else, so it's probably not an issue, but, you know, they also have the ability to, like, just disregard all the collisions probably in the code, so I don't necessarily have that capability, so I'm not sure if that's what was causing the lag with that before or not. Alright, autopilot's coming off. And we're looking for this. It should be up here on the road by the cliff face. Alright, so I'm going to zero out the propeller, the pusher prop. And let's see. Take off the modes. We'll just put the AP auto hover on. Let's see, what was it? What's the mission here? The mission is old wagon. So we'll look for this old wagon here. Did not see it spawning yet, so. Shall give it a look-see. Daisy here. Ah, there it is. I think that's it right there. Let's see. There's. Okay, good. Gotta have good eyes. Is that over there? Go gets it. Go gets it. Orange helicopter's working really well. Famous last words I know. That little bit of weight and balance problem caused most of the issues, you know, and it's IRL, they're incredibly important as well to get the weight and balance just right. People often they don't understand how important it really is. It is truly very important, you know, and you've gotta be careful with that weight balance. Alright, looks like there's a dead Jamoke there, which unfortunately we don't have a defib. Which sucks, I gotta get a defib on this sucker. Alright, there we go, that's close enough. Let's go ahead, park brake on, ground idle on. Let's get out of here. Everybody and their brother needs the defib, it's kind of obnoxious. I probably shouldn't be jumping around the rotor blades, but I did. Alright, we got 2. You might be death. Bringer of. Take you. I don't think there's a med bed at this one. If I bring the carcass and I throw them in the med bed, they'll come back to life there. They'll essentially defib themselves. Shit, don't rock into the tail rotor. Oh Christ, I'm a cracker. Go this side. Finally, the idle is coming on. What's going on up there? Helicopter coming in to Sparking. Finally went to ground idle. Took a while. Just throw the jackass on the floor, please. Thanks. Close. This door, you gotta kind of drop these to do it well. Right, there we go. Let's get out of here. Let's plot where we're going. We're gonna go up to here. This is a little bit tight over here. See, this is a problem I wish the devs would work on, is too many hospital boats, frankly. It ends up getting excessive and they use a lot of resources. It would be nice just to, you know, limit them extremely. We can land on the road if we need to. Coming in here. Alright, we're almost there. I'm just gonna hand fly us in. Alright, my hands are off the controls. This is how nice and stable it is right now. This is how a real aircraft would do. You notice how the nose is gently going down? You would need to pick it up and trim. That's how they work IRL. You know, that stick-and-play stuff is not realistic at all. That's when, you know, people will see that as instability. It really isn't. As their only experienced aircraft ever has been games, and that's what games do, is to oversimplify it for people who are not pilots. Alright, tail rotor zeroed. Let's see. That's kind of a hairy parking spot. Wind's pretty calm. Did I zero my propeller out? I did. It's just taking a second to catch up. Alright, let's use the rotors to slow us down. We'll rotate around. Okay. Let's land on the road here. Yeah, like go play a simulator with helicopters and you'll see what that is with airplanes. See what they're really are like. Why are we still going 30 knots? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. The wind? It's probably the wind. Okay, there we go. Let's do 2 trips here. Let's take this ding dong with us. What's the uh-oh? Let's see what the uh-oh is. Oh, there's a loot crate. Loot crate. What's up there, son? Right. So they've been successfully rescued, so it reses them when we get here. I'm just gonna climb up, vault myself up and over. Go get the other person. That way, we know they're not causing problems. We'll grab the loot crates, and then we will, get out of here. Good. We got one there. I think we have one inside the, lighthouse. Oh, hello. Are you still here there, son? Alright, good. Let's go look in here. Grab this one. I save. Last time I did a bunch of work in career and I didn't save, so I didn't get the money. I'll do that. Hey, there it is. Alright, good. A little bit of cash money, dollar bills. Good to have. Yeah, that was, I used this as the example in my video of like, if you just paint that, that would be dandy. So. Right, so Tethys should be probably pretty closer there. I would say it's there already to the home base there. New mission. Alright, what's that one? Could go hit that one. Let's go hit that one real quick. Let's just fire. Let's do that. We have plenty of fuel. This thing sips fuel. We've used about maybe 100 pounds max. So, yeah, again, I've seen people complaining recently about like, oh my god, modular engines use so much fuel. They don't. It's the way you have the modular engine set up is using more fuel than you'd like. It's, again, how are you running at too high of an RPS? Do you have a big enough engine? Are you gearing properly? All these things. And again, I understand the complicated concepts, but that still doesn't mean that it's wrong, you know? That's how it's supposed to be. You know, realistic things. Oh, I see. CG's message. You know, that's how they do it IRL. You know, they have to gear it properly and everything else to get the fuel under control. That's why fuel economies have increased huge amounts, you know, since automobiles first came out, as they've gotten better and better and better at engineering, you know. And so as you, as a player in an engineering game, you have an objective to get better and to make these things better, you know. And you can use realistic concepts to achieve it, you know. And that's what's rewarding, is actually learning something and getting better, you know. No shortcut to it. You gotta just do it. see. Currently about 2 minutes out. You know, this is kind of showing how small the game really is. You know, like, we're able to get up here in like 4 minutes, something like that. Get from here down there in like, I don't know, 3 minutes. You know, the distances are pretty short. There's the oil rig. What's that over there? That's not Tethys, is it? It could be Tethys. But no, that's probably my base over there. With the beacon at my base. Let me see. Yeah, that's the base. You can see the beacon rotating. And the helipad there. So that's why it has those things. Is greatly increases your visibility. So it has the lighthouse beacon and it has the helipad beacon. Makes it easy to spot. And 12, we're coming up on the wind farm. So let's see. Let's take a quick look. How many minutes out are we? Get it close. Less than a minute. I'll stay focused, but curious. What was last week? Last week was, I think it was update week. Yep, refueling missions update. So this should be just an info week. All right, there's the thing. Let's go ahead, and I know that's real descriptive. Let's take off the modes and let's just run in. Actually, I don't even want that auto hover business on. Let's just do that. Again, you know, the whole point of that auto hover is it tries to just zero out all your things. It tries to keep a level roll, level pitch, level yaw, essentially, or a dampened yaw. And so that's all it's doing. You know. So like you don't necessarily want that all the time, you know. I personally like it off when I'm trying to hand fly because it doesn't fight me. Because I want to pitch down to, you know, do the resultant things to change my lift vector, change my thrust vector so that I can move in that direction. And I don't want to fight me. Somewhere in this neighborhood over here. Where the hell is it? Now, like right now, it's helpful to put it on because it will just automatically zero me out if I want it to, like that, you know. All right, so it's right below us here. Let's go to, make sure I don't get hit by the rotor blades. So I can see the trees below me here, and then I'm coming up for the road. So like this, it takes a little workload off me. It is keeping me, you know, it's, as I push forward, it will then now try to raise my nose and stop that motion. That's all it's doing, is it's a dampener. That is all it is doing with the auto hover. So, okay, good. Go ahead, park brakes on, let's go. And let's get out of here. And then I do have a Fire X on me already. Hello, peeps. You're gonna make it difficult, huh? Never have my fire costume on. Go. Money. People coming with. Should be probably, what, 2? Let's see. 1 casualty. So this guy is just an observer. He's all good. He just wants to watch. So yeah. Excuse me now. Put the fire extinguisher in there. Thanks. Back. Let's get in this, son. All right, let's get out of here. Hospital. See where we want to go. Probably go south. Let's see, we'll head here. Alright, I'm going to hand fly it out of here so that we don't hit anything. Alright, we're up to revs here, so let's go. clear. Alright, let's go, and let's start heading toward the hospital. Whoa, shit. Well, that was awesome, whatever the autopilot did on that one. What the hell is it doing? Station keep like crazy. Oh, I'm gonna need to get out of here. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. Can I not see what's going on here? Yeah, I know. What the hell happened there? I have to rescue that helicopter. I think it didn't like the transition between station keeping and that, and it just hard-nosed over. Now that dude's probably deader than shit now. Alright. Alright, so we will change characters and call for a rescue from the rescue. Let's teleport here. Go take Tethy's and we'll go yank that out of the water. That looks like Tethy's over there. Yar. Okay. Let's go grab the lifeboat. We'll head over there. Do not know what that was. Could have been a little bit of lag that then overcorrected. Could have just been that it was already a slower RPS and dipped the nose like crazy. Looked like it was right at the speed which it changes from forward flight to vertical, or from vertical flight to forward flight. Could have been that. Take that. Don't jump on the pad seat. Grab the handle, you dickhead. I keep pressing the wrong button. But, alright. Let me see what channel Tethy's is. 6886, okay. I know where it is, but might as well put on the tracking system too. If you remember, we also have a stop command. I can send a radio frequency that will stop Tethy's. So if Tethy's was moving and I need to stop it to be able to get on, I could use that command to send a stop signal to stop Tethy's from moving. That way, if we're following it in this boat's faster, and all we have to do is put in stop command, Tethy's stops, we dock with it, and then we're good to go. So we'll go pluck the old tangerine out of the water there. Luckily we survived. Panic was not the thing to do there. Flashlight, find the door, get the hell out. Best not to panic in an emergency. Are we close enough? Let's see. Why are we in reverse? I put it in reverse. That's why we're in reverse. But let's try to nose it incorrectly here. Oh, Jesus Christ. It oversteers in reverse like crazy. Take our time here and get it straightened out before I have to do this 9 times. There we go. Now let's go forward. Don't smash too hard, please. Thank you. Stop this bobbing bullshit. Just stand up. Thank you. I guess we could have the rope here. There we go. Alright, good. That going. I don't know what the issue is people are having with ropes, like pulling their vessels over. Again, I think it's I think it's likely something to do with low physics because, like, thinking people are talking, you know, I keep telling people put on high physics and they're like, you know, what do your ships like look like docked with high physics? And I sent pictures and they look fine. You know, does it pull it towards the dock a little bit? Yeah, but it doesn't tip the ship over like they're reporting. So, um, you know, that would be my thought is they're running like, you know, their low physics is or lower physics is causing that. But I don't know. Maybe I got the good copy of the game, or more likely just put it on the settings it's supposed to be on. Let's see. I gotta change this winch. It's driving me nuts. I forgot about that. Oh, is it? Yeah. You know, the other thing too is like most of my big ships have cranes, and I have stability systems on them too. So it's, you know, I'm not arguing that the ropes aren't overly heavy or behave in that strange way. I agree with that, but it's certainly like a solvable problem, I think. What the fuck is going on here? I'm pressing the wrong keys is what's going on. You get in first person view. I can't work in third person. Yeah, I gotta change. Let me put it on the to-do list here. I think I did. Let's see. Front garage. Yep, that's it right there. Okay, it's on the to-do list. I need to change this winch a little bit so that, because right now it's toggles 1 and 2 are the winches, and it's toggles, and I want them to be where they're push buttons that work an up-down counter. So just like my winches on my helicopter, where it's you know, you press 2 and it will go down. You press 1, it will then go to the off state and then up. And I think that works best because you can't accidentally get 2 of them on and then you don't know what's causing the problem, why it's not moving. You know, this camera on. I just have no lights. Let's go get the lights on down there. I can't see shit. Let's see. This is this one's got a player sensor on. I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna put on the deck lights. That'll make it so I can see what I'm working on here, because I am frickin' blind trying to do this without lights. Get a coffee going here. There we go. Right. Let's go. Where are the deck lights? Deck lights right there. Alright, let's run with that. Most of my ships have some sort of weight system for that too, so that could be part of it. Again, you know, the ships weigh an incredibly small amount compared to what they'd weigh IRL, but yes, that could all be part of it. You know, which again, would it be great if the game was perfectly realistic so that you didn't have to think about anything? Sure, but you know, you have the tools, you can engineer a lot of the stuff to work. And there are legitimate bugs, of course, but it's like you can complain about it all day. You can also just build things to make them work the way you want them to as well. Alright, let's grab. Excuse me, let go, please. Thanks, guys. Okay. Go. Alright. Let's fold the crane. Alright, there we go. Let's head out. Let's go rescue the helicopter. Switch the deck lights over to the reds here. shut off the AP. Shut off the AP. Because I have it below this block, I have to aim to the lower part of the switch. There's some interesting things with the Q&A too about Delta is talking about things that are not possible in the engine. I think that often eludes people. Again, most people aren't experts in that engine, so of course, but there are things that are just not going to be possible because of the engine as well. And so, for example, like one thing he talked about is, it would be nice if you could pre-attach, say, the hydraulics. The Bullet engine does not allow that, from what he said in the Q&A. So it's like you can't actively do that. That's why we have to use connectors to attach those things. You can't pre-connect those like that in the engine, And so it's like, it sounds easy, yeah, just make work, but it just might not be possible to make it work with the engine too. And so, those are things to consider as well. Because I think that would be nice as well, the ability to like pre-attach hydraulics, but just might not be possible, And it doesn't make sense for them to completely rewrite the engine to do something like that, because likely it spends a lot of other dev time that could be better spent on things, and it's just like, because we already can do it, and that's kind of my argument too, is like, you keep like, that's one of the problems of mods and stuff like that, is you start, and even add-ons, like, you start fulfilling with that stuff, then they don't want to spend their time on that because that thing's already fulfilled, because they would have to make it better than the mod, better than the add-on, and then for people to switch over. And they've increased that small player base's play by 5% because the innate one's 5% better, and so sometimes it's better. That's why they tend not to do that. And I like to have it all inbuilt. I'm not going to use the mods or the add-ons. And, so it's like, that stuff can be problematic too at times, where it's, because it's a fulfilled segment, they don't want to work on it, Alright, let's see. We shall be there in 7 minutes. And we'll winch the helicopter on board and dry it out. Should be able to get it on the helipad. I've already tested. Oh, great. Oh, we have the mag all in there. I was going to say, I don't have an attach point on top, but I have the mag all. So. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, I'm just looking at Alistair's comment. It's not a game-breaking issue. It's, would it be nice, again, if you could perfectly do everything you do in real life? Of course, and is there a way to, would it be great if the ropes were lighter? But again, it's kind of, like, people assume that dev's stupid, dev don't know what dev do, and, that there's no rhyme or reason behind the reason they do things, and that's rarely the case. It's... it could very well likely be that, again, the devs probably have to test it with low physics, medium physics, and high physics. And they're trying to get it so that it works with all three, probably. And then, you get in a situation where, for example, ropes, people are talking about, like, ropes are floppy in multiplayer, where they're not floppy in single player. Well, again, how does the person who is hosting the game, whether it's on a server or not, have their server settings set? If you play on high physics when you play single player and you go on a public multiplayer and it's on low physics, yes, of course, the physics is going to behave differently in that game than in your game. Like, we used to play on release day when it was on Fridays on Endo's server, and Endo always put it on low physics. And so you'd get a build that was from the workshop, and it would behave funky, and I'd tell them, hey, put it on high physics. And bingo, the build would work. And so sometimes, if you don't know what the settings are on that server, you're not going to know if that's the reason why. And of course, high physics doesn't fix everything, but a lot of the problem, like a lot of people talk about, like, oh, the way to make pivots strong is to add weight. I've never once had to do that. Never once had to do it. I've never spammed weight on the end of a physics body to do it, to get it stronger, because I run the game on high and I don't need to. All my cranes, I don't add extra weight on them for that reason. Don't need to. You know, so some of the stuff, it's like you kind of have to, you know, and then like for example, so anyways, where I was getting with that is, so the ropes being too heavy, I agree, the ropes are likely too heavy, but is that solving for a problem? And I think that's the question a lot of people need to ask themselves. Is this solving for another problem? Likely it is. I don't think it's random, again, just throwing shit against the wall, see if it sticks. It's probably, in certain circumstances, if your physics is lower, maybe the heavier ropes help them behave more, in a desired way. And so that's the plus side. And the downside is that, if you have a light ship or you have a ship that's not balanced correctly or the CG is too high, yeah, it's going to tip it over. And so, of course, IRL, the cable weight is very small comparatively to the mass of a ship. They're probably more closely related in game, and so some of those things can be, so just like saying to the devs, hey, lighten the ropes, or, one of the comments you often hear with the ropes is make them less stretchy. Well, again, that sounds great in principle until you realize that the stretchy ropes are solving for certain problems. For example, when I go to winch up this helicopter, because the rope can stretch, it's going to be less likely that, the helicopter doesn't come flying up from the bottom, slam the bottom of the boat. If the helicopter hits something, the stretchy rope is going to make it less likely to glitch into another block. If you accidentally pull the helicopter up against something, again, that's less likely it's going to glitch into a block. Having flexibility, I've talked about this before, with having some flexibility is what allows you to not get that phantom physics, for example. Like, let's say you have two containers attached to themselves on your boat, and then your boat starts doing 360s and flies off into space. That's because you have multiple pieces all occupying the same space. The game doesn't know what to do at that point because blocks are not supposed to be in one another, and the physics freaks out. And, Grand Theft Auto does this, with a billion-dollar company. A lot of games do this because that's not something they can program in, to have every block have, okay, steel bends at this rate, this type of steel bends at this rate, at this pressure the steel will snap. None of that's in the code, and it can't be. The game would never run. You could have some magic simulator on a supercomputer that would do it. That's like the Unreal 5 test demos that they put on a supercomputer, and it's just showing off the graphics. Like, they can't do anything with it because they don't have the resource power. So the game has to be simplified in those regards, and then you get that behavior problem. So, for example, like on this crane, this uses cables which have some level of stretch. So as I bring the container on board, and let's say that you have a 1/4 of a meter distance between the attach point on the deck, which in this case are grippers, and the container. Eventually, when the container gets close, it's going to snap itself to the deck. When it does that, if the crane is completely hardened and there's no flexibility, it's going to cause a problem because you have one part supposed to be in one location, one part supposed to be in another, and they immediately try to snap together. It's going to cause physics problems. And so by having some stretch, the cables can stretch, allowing it to do that. On Triton, it has a hard crane, and it has flexible hard points. The hard points can move and shift like a block apart from one another. And because they can do that, you then don't have to worry about that issue. You'll see that when the containers snap to the deck on Triton, the crane, the hard point will disconnect by a 1/4 of a block or something, and that way it doesn't snap and it doesn't cause some phantom physics. So that's one of the reasons why you have that flexibility in a lot of these things, is for that reason. It's not for no reason, generally. There's usually a reason behind these design choices. And again, a lot of it's balance. So, at the end of the day, balance is all about, trying to get every group satisfied. It's all about compromise, and, you're going to get some groups where they're far out of that balancing thing. It's a bell curve. You're going to get people on one end of the bell curve, people on the other end of the bell curve, and the majority of people are going to be in the middle of the bell curve. So when you do a balancing thing, you ideally want to have the fattest group of people there in the middle of the bell curve. And yeah, you've got some people on either extremes who aren't going to be happy. But for the most part, hopefully the majority of the people are content with it. Nobody's perfectly happy. Like maybe the guy right in the middle of the bell curve's perfectly happy, but for the most part, you try to get as close as you can. You know, and that's what they're trying to do, you know, and it's with any game, frankly. And that's what balancing is, you know. That looks like, let's see, medroom. I gotta fix paint in the medroom. Medroom ceiling. Alright. I'll just take this. Alright, there we go. Save me some time. It's better for NPCs than for me. I have to sit there, do it. You know, so much of the stuff, it seems like, oh, just easy to do stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, of course it's easy because we're not actually having to do it. We're just talking about it. You actually, like, go in there and do the code, show them, you know. If you go fix all the code for them and then link it on the bug tracker and say, hey, I fixed this problem. Here's the code, you know, use it at your own, you know, use it, you can have it, you know. Go ahead and do that. But you notice, you know, most of those people aren't going to do that. They don't know how to do any of that. It's just, you know, and it gets oversimplified. People are like, oh, just do this, just do that, just do this, just do that. It's like, okay. It's like I could say, just mow my lawn. Just, you know, like the chores I need to do in the house. I need to mow the front lawn. I need to spray the entire house with the pressure washer. You know, I need to spray the entire patio with the pressure washer to get all the dirt off the patio. You know, I need to get all the pollen off the chairs that I just washed last week because the chairs are full of pollen again out on the porch. You know, so it's like things like this. It sounds like, oh, well, that's like I said all of that in 5 minutes. You know, or in a couple minutes. Well, IRL, it's going to take you days to do that work, you know, so it's the same type of thing. As it's easy to say it, it's hard to accomplish it, and, you know, it's always simple in your head of these, oh, that's just an easy, simple thing to do. Oh, this should be easy, and it's like, no, that's rarely the case. It's usually quite complicated to do half of this stuff. Oh, shit, I didn't grab the, what do I got on there? Get the maggle, damn it. This crane, I've got this crane nice and slow, for obvious reasons, which are not obvious to everybody, but like, again, you don't want your crane going too fast, right? Force of mass times acceleration. You have something moving really fast and it's heavy, it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause the ship to swing, it's going to cause damage. Again, that's why IRL cranes are nice and slow. Yeah, so the problem is here, now it's slow and I've got to put the maggle on. I forgot to do that. You know, for example, there's something that I think sounds simple that's probably not. I think it would have been done probably initially if it was simple, is the cables through pulleys. And the other thing too is it's like there's a couple school of thought. It's one is when something is ready and done in game, you give it to the community, let us use it. And so, for example, the pulleys, right, were something we've been asking for a long time. And the easy thing is ropes through the pulley, right? Rope, all you care about is the length. The problem with cables, which is probably what I think is holding up why cables aren't going through pulleys and why they didn't do it initially, it wasn't that devs are just like, oh, could never have thought that the community would want cables to go through pulleys, It's, no, that's not the case, I don't think. I think what it is, you know, you have to, when you send information through a cable, you then have to find a way to then send it through the pulley as well. And so likely it's reasonably easy to send the cable through as the information doesn't need to be sent through. You're just sending a dumb rope through. Now you start putting a cable, well, all the information you're looking to get, all the information you're looking to get now has to somehow be communicated through the pulley. And so I think that's probably something that, you know, again, seems simple in people's head, but then when it actually needs to be done, it's like, no, it's not so simple. That's actually pretty challenging. What the hell? Do I have a cable here? There it is. Okay. You know, that's probably reasonably challenging to do from a development standpoint. And so it's probably why we don't have cables going through pulleys yet. Will we get them at some point? Sure. But again, it's probably going to take a while to figure out, like, how do you make that, pass that information through? So do you take the cable, and then when you plug the cable into the pulley, how do you make it so that you change the cable so that you send from cable 1 through the pulley, and then it will put the information out through the pulley or pulleys. Is that even possible? It might not be possible, because how are you changing over the information, right? You're not physically connecting the cable anymore. So do you put a composite link so that when you put cable section A, it will then communicate to the pulley, and then pulley passes through to B? It's easy to say. Is it that easy in game? I don't know. So that seems like something that people are like, oh, that's an easy fix. It very well could be. It could also be very challenging with what needs to be done. How do you move object on hold? How do you move object on hold? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. But hello, Tanip. Sun's coming up to greet us for getting the helicopter back. Now, don't grab the bottom, please. Let's go up. Thanks. Go in. Does it not want to grab the rotors? I think it doesn't want to grab the rotor section there. Did you grab it? No, didn't grab it. Why are you not grabbing? Why are you not grabbing, sir or madam? I think it's grabbed now. Yeah, it looks grabbed now. Okay. So, for example, cool physics thing is IRL. When the helicopter is in the water, right? The density of the water is actually reducing the weight of the helicopter. So, if the helicopter weighs 1,000 kilograms, and you have the density of the water, you're essentially taking whatever the density of the helicopter is and subtracting the density of the water as you're bringing it up in the water. Once you get it to the air, though, you get the full weight of the helicopter, because the displacement, of course, of the air is limited compared to what the displacement of the water is. And so you see this where, for example, you'll get some sort of lifting platform that is trying to lift a sunken, like, it doesn't even have to be a big boat, out of the water, and they are doing great until it breaches the surface of the water. Like, even if you completely get all the water out of the hull, that water, the density of the water, is helping you to be able to lift the vessel because it weighs less in the water, just like you weigh less in the water. And then, so like if you try to pick somebody up in the water, right, you stand in the water, you try to lift them up, it's all fun and games until you then try to lift them up into the air, and they're much, much heavier. We don't get that in game, of course, but that's how it is IRL. So you can see a lot of like interesting cases where like they're trying to lift out a boat or something, and then the crane gets pulled in because it's it's doing great. They think, oh yeah, we can do this, no problem, and then they try to get the vehicle out, and even if they get all the water out of it, it's still a disaster because the water is no longer helping them lift it, and so you need a really big crane to be able to get it out, so you need to make sure that they have the right size crane for it. Let's get a pic of this. Foreshadowing when I built this crane, kind of being like, it'd be nice if I could reach the pad with the crane. It did not surprise me that at some point we would need a crane that could reach that. I gotta change something on there. There's a block you can see is missing. There's this infamous set of pictures of a so I think a car goes in the water, and they go to grab a they've got a crane, and the crane's trying to take the car out of the water. It's doing fine until the car breaches the surface of the water. Okay, and then once the car breaches the surface of water, it pulls the crane in, and then they get another crane to lift that out, and then that gets pulled in, and it's like 3 or 4 cranes get sucked into the water, and it's like, ugh. You know, if they had started with the absolutely enormous crane to start with, they probably would have got it out, you know. But now, like, oh my god, you keep getting bigger and bigger cranes, you're going to need enormous cranes to get this out, you know. Just, it's insanity at that point, and it's like, you can imagine what a cluster it becomes. All right, there we go. I left the crane going up. All right, now we can get off of it there. So when I got up to there, the crane was up. Oh, that's bright. Oh, you sucker, you. You sucker, you. Let's see if I can... I'm trying to think. Let's do this. Go. Okay, press the wrong button. That's not helpful at all. Alright, let's leave it like that for now. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump up here. I'm trying to spin this the best I can. Probably could just fly it back on the deck, but I would like to dry it out first. It's working. We're rotating it slowly. I just want to take my time and get this rotated. It should, the way the system's worked up for the attachment, it should only attach to one side first, and then the other side's allowed. That way you're not accidentally attaching to the wrong nub on there. Could move with a crane, but I think that this is probably safer pushing it a little bit. Trying to get a little bit closer. I don't have much area of purchase here. Let's try to rotate it with the crane. Definitely stronger rotating it with the crane, but alright, let's see. We want to go up. And then up. Okay. Down, 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 you prick. Alright, that's the problem with using the crane. Okay, now go down. Down, please, quickly. There's shithead. Alright, there we go. Get towards center of gravity. might fly it up and redo it that way. It's probably going to be the easiest. Go down, please, before I have to slap you. Go. Trying not to get this back in the drink again. Try to see if I can get the transponder there. If I get that, I can swing it. That's right in the center of gravity, so. Oof, close. Out of the... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright, there we go. Let's get out of there again. Spin it. Once you get something hanging like this, it's pretty easy to rotate it. Use guide ropes IRL, and you just have, like, you know, massive heavy stuff, and you're just using ropes to turn it around. It's mostly weightless. You're just pushing the weight and readjusting the weight. So, for example, like, this is the use case here I'm talking about. The connectors don't have any give. They will snap right away, and so you need some flexibility, and the cable gives us that. That's why we don't want cables. Again, despite people saying they want them, you kind of got to be careful what you wish for. Is like having no flexibility is going to cause you more problems, I think. Balance-wise, could cables be less stretchy and still accomplish their thing? Sure, but you got to be careful with that. Again, there's a balancing point there where they become not stretchy enough, and then you start getting fan of physics, and then people complain about that. So it's constantly a battle, I think, to get balancing right. So it's a lot in in every game, frankly. But like Escape from Tarkov, they've been doing a bunch of balancing things, and it's you get the people who are like, oh, this is the death of the game because they changed the way I like it, and then the game survives as, either they themselves realize, yeah, that wasn't that bad of a thing, or they get used to it. Generally, people get used to it, and then it's not a problem, Okay. Oh, don't do that. Go the other way, please. Thanks, guy. All right. That was like, they did a big change in Tarkov that they had changed years ago, where it was, you had to find an item in Raid to be able to sell it in the flea market. And so to find it in Raid meant that you had to survive with it out. So if you put it in your secured container, it doesn't count as found in Raid. And then when you get to, so you used to not be able to sell that stuff on the flea market. You could just sell it to the traders. And they changed that to make probably less grindy, especially toward the end of the wipe, as a testing thing. And, a lot of people hated it in the beginning. Like, some people want the flea market completely gone and stuff like that. And it's, they have to come up with a balance where it pleases enough people to keep the game alive, essentially. Yeah, and then, again, at the end of the day, too, a lot of people don't, despite what they want, they don't necessarily know what's best for the game because, again, they're speaking for themselves, not for the general audience. And the game needs to keep what it's supposed to be as well. That's the other thing a lot of people miss, is it's like, some people, they don't believe in the vision of the game that they bought. They want they want their own vision. That's not going to happen either. You got to kind of, at the end of the day, you need kind of a vision that the developer has, that this is what the game's supposed to be, and you can either play it or not. I like that with Escape from Tarkov, is Nikita will often be like, if you don't like it, go play something else. Nobody's forcing you to play the game. Sometimes you need that. You need, oh, this is in the hull, I think. How did that get in the hull? I gotta check. This might be a problem. This isn't, oh, let's see, where is it? It's well behind the boat. Okay, I see where it is now. Let's get this like this so I don't pull this through the hull. You know, and I like that the devs do it on this game too, to a certain extent. They're like, nope, that's not what the game's about. You know, and I think that's important. Is you dilute down what the game is, and it ends up being cookie cutter, whatever everything else is, and I think that's not good either. You know, all the uniqueness goes out. Everything becomes Call of Duty. You know. Now let me catch up on chat here. No, there was no real issue with the helicopter other than center of gravity and PID tuning. So the center of gravity was egregious enough that it was causing the inherent instability, and so it was making it hard to PID tune because it had an inherent instability. So once I got the center of gravity fixed, it was working better. Move the physics sensor closer to where it should be as well, so that would help with the readings on that, but it was mostly just a center of gravity problem. Yeah, you see there's a block missing there I gotta fix, so let's see. Block missing behind the track. Rescue the helicopter. Did we see a dead carcass in there? The dead player in there? Let me check settings real quick. NPC damage is on, so that person, it said somebody believed to be died when we got close, so it's probably them. That's what they do when they don't get out of your helicopter when you crash. Say they crashed on impact to make us feel better. All that for $3 grand. I like doing these things though. I like craning vehicles off, and it gives something to use your crane for. It's a good utility. So like this right here, if you look, I'm using hard points to connect the crane there. And so when I get off of the there, you'll see it snaps. Because this has flexibility, the pivot has less flexibility, but because of that, it doesn't cause phantom forces. You know, it would cause phantom forces if that didn't have some flexibility. It would be the crane would be trying to go right, this would be trying to go left. You get some sort of phantom forces, so important to have a little bit of flexibility in those things to cut out the phantom forces. And again, that's something you can do as a builder to fix these problems. Again, not poo-poo game. It is, you know, you have the ability to fix these things. You got to do it, you know, and it makes sense. It's understandable to say that, you know, you have two objects trying to go in opposite directions and neither of them will give. You're going to have a fundamental problem making that work, you know. All right, we'll do a rotation on the ship here. Using asymmetrical thrust. Again, variable pitch propellers I'm a big fan of. Glad they put those in. I don't use them too much, but, you know, they're a cool thing you can use. Let's go ahead and we'll put in a waypoint. The one thing I can do is I can hold this, and that goes to 0, and then move up from there. Makes it a little bit quicker and easier. Put the GPS on, and then we're on our way. Rescued the rescue. Alright, I'm just going to leave it running here in third person. I need to go use the facilities, and I'll be back. All right, let's go ahead. I think we'll jump off here. So good little bit of a short episode here. Not really feeling too much stormworks at the moment, but we'll get that back when we're ready. Let's go ahead and I'll save this up. Go ahead and check out that video for the... what's the date today? Go ahead and check out that video for the feature request. And if that's for the paintable bottom of the pivot, if you like that, make sure you go on the Geometa bug tracker, linked in the description, and click on that. That's the best way for them to see it and to see what we want. And that's pretty good for minor updates. Some of these minor updates, that's really going to be good. So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.